that they just go into the app, log in or sign up, then order for food, right? And when you order for that food, all you want is to get your food for you as a user, right? And once you get that food, you are eating it. And when you're done eating it, you could drink water and then probably sleep off, right? That's for you, or probably a couple of people that are not in tech. But if you are like in tech, be it no code or code, right? You have to think critically and be very analytical about how this process started, how it's going to end. Even to the extent of trying as much as possible to try out your hypothesis to really get insight or probably drive insights from what people are going to feel or see, right? And that will be infused into building the product itself, what you're seeing. Not just that, you need to know the technologies behind you building this product, right? So what I'm just trying to say, you need to be very, very good at research. You need to know everything to end, the conversations that need to be had, the tech behind facilitating that movement from those stores to the riders, to them getting alerts on their phone, to you actually to calculating probably the proximity or when the product has to, or probably the food has to get to you. So don't get me wrong, I'm just trying as much as possible to communicate what it means to have an analytical mind. If you're going to eventually be somebody that is into no tech, right? Or let's say code tech as well, right? So you need to be very, very analytical. You won't be able to know things just on the surface anymore. You need to be able to know things from a deeper level at the end of the day. So that's just about that. Then the next thing is you need to actually be able to communicate properly. So I think again, I like using myself as an example. I mean, because of the work I do, I think something about HR as well. Like, you need to be able to communicate properly, right? Because for the line of work I do, which is actually in the aspect of no-code tech, because today I don't code, but I work in tech. You need to be able to work with a lot of stakeholders. And what that means is that you need to be able to, let's say, communicate properly. The way I talk to engineers, or I mean software engineers, is not the same way I talk to QAs, right? It's not the same language I use for product marketers. It's not the same language I use for business development managers. It's not the same words I use for let's say maybe if I'm interfacing with a digital marketer, if I'm interfacing with an operations person, right? So first of all, I won't be telling someone I won't be telling somebody let's say that is not engineering team about pagination, populating the data, things like that. Excuse me. So I won't be telling people about that, right? Because they don't understand what I'm saying, right? You need to be able at every point in time, understand your audience, one. Two, communicate the information properly. Try as much as possible not to use bogus words that they don't understand. Try as much as possible to make sure that they understand what you're saying, and not just them, but then every other person within that within understands what you're trying to say. Because if you don't communicate properly about the information you're trying to pass through, you could actually build the wrong product at the end of the day. So communication is very, very important across board, right? These are things you need to actually take note of, right? These are just 4 things I just talked about. I mean, like, if you have any questions, like, you could let me know. Maybe ask them in the chat box, or you could just unmute and just let me know. I'll give like a minute for that. If not, if I get none, I'll just move on. So that's just about that. Okay, good morning. Any questions, guys, before we keep going? Okay, Idara, no questions, yeah? Okay.
So no questions in the chat box. So everyone, if you have questions for Anthony, if you have questions so far from what he has said, kindly drop in the chat box. Or if you can't drop it to the chat box, just come off mute. He has given a minute for us to ask our questions before he moves on to the next point.
Right.
Okay, so it looks like no one has questions
Yeah,
for him.
no, everybody understands. Awesome. All right, guys. All right. So again, what area of no code tech can you specialize on? So basically, I want to ask a question right now because I want to try as much as possible to make this very interactive. Can anyone let me know the various areas in tech that does not involve code? You can put it in the chat box, right? Like, yeah. So, anyone here could just, okay. Anyone here could just talk about, I mean, like, just put it in the chat box, anything, no wrong answers, to be honest. Like, I mean, feel free. Okay, product design, business analysis, project manager, awesome. Product manager, awesome. Graphics design, awesome. QA, yeah, awesome. Okay, UI UX, awesome. What I like calling UI UX, what's it called? Product design, but it's fine. UI UX is still in order. Okay, everybody's correct. Okay, someone said GD. What's sorry, what's GD? Can you explain more on that? But then, I mean, like, not bad. Thank you, Remy, for that as well. We have product management, project management, data analysis, product design. Awesome. Okay, I think I have a question now, but it's fine. Maybe I can attend to that. Graphic design. Oh, GD. Awesome. Thank you so much, Remy, for explaining that. Data analytics. Awesome. Okay, Faith Anjuma asked, please, what does it mean to be a product manager? I'm looking at business analysis. Or does that need coding? Okay, so what does it really mean to be a product manager? Well, I'm just trying to understand your question, but then what it means to be a product manager is to be able to, let's say, look at an existing product and see how you can improve it, technically or non-technically, right? That could involve you doing a lot of research, doing a lot of analysis, gathering a lot of data, and then curating insights from that. And then building out a holistic product, right? That's what it means to be a product manager. You try as much as possible to, you're more like the middleman amongst all stakeholders. When I talk about stakeholders, I'm talking about other people in your team. Today you could be working with the business development team to make them understand the problem you're trying to solve. You could be negotiating because what they're trying to say or tell you to do, you don't want to do that. And because that could actually reduce the velocity of the team. From that, you're talking to the developers or the software engineers to really understand how far they've gone with the project, letting them know the vision of the project and what to build, how to build it out, unblocking them with regards to various tasks that are just carrying out. Tomorrow, you could also be maybe documenting your research, maybe what we'll call it is product requirement document, documenting your findings, more like after product validation, but I don't want to really go deep into the things. So that's another day you could just be working with a product designer. So product designers are more like, graphic design, like all the graphics you see on apps, on websites is designed by someone, right? But they don't use Photoshop, they use something else like Figma, right? So that's what you could be doing another day, maybe trying to understand the flows, reviewing the design, and then maybe talking about some design improvements or why they made some design decisions, just to improve the UX. It could be that, right? So that's just about that. So your work is multifaceted. Again, if the product succeeds, right, the team takes the glory, but if it fails, you take the blame. So it's a crazy work, but then it's something I do on a daily basis. So looking at business analysis, does that need coding? I don't think it does, to be honest. I don't think it does, to be honest. I don't think business analysis, but I think I wouldn't say coding, but then you need to understand data analysis to actually be a good business analyst, right? You need to know how to curate data, maybe SQL or something else, or Power BI, maybe. But then it's not my line, but then it does not require coding, but then you see a couple of snippets, but I wouldn't call that coding because I mean you're not writing JavaScript or Node.js or whatsoever. So yeah, that's just about that. Okay, I think I'll take one more question, then I'll move over to the areas. But first of all, Faith Danjuma, I hope I answered your question. Just you can give a thumbs up, or like you could just let me know. All right, awesome. Then on Winnie Okoro talked about I'm yet to understand what your product is, like the process behind ordering and delivering at Chowdeck. Okay. So I was okay. Chowdeck is not my product. It's a product I like. To be honest, I don't work there, but I can give you a surface level, probably what happened before anything actually got there. So I was on a Twitter space with with the CEO some time ago. I think sometime last year or this year, I can't remember. So the guy was just talking about how they started the whole product, Chowdeck, right? So I think he was in Dubai. What happened was that he ordered for food and it came to him within 30 minutes. And he was like, wow. Right. So he started making a lot of research over there to really understand the rationale, why it actually happened, how it happens. And he now came back to Nigeria. I think he was on leave. I don't know whether a lot of people here know Paystack. So he worked at Paystack, which is a fintech company that exited for like $200 million. That was 2020 or so. Yeah. So he how do I put that? So he came back to Nigeria, of course, around that time, I think 2021 or so. I can't remember, to be honest. There's Uber Food, I think there's Bolt Food, there's I think that was when this old food was available. There was Jumia Food, there was Konga Food, there was a lot of guys, right? But he noticed something. They don't deliver food on time. They mix up your orders and stuff like that, right? So what he now did was that he bought a car himself. So this is more like the research phase, right? He bought, I think, a bike or a car, I can't remember. Then he started delivering this food himself, right? So that part in product management is called product research, right? So where you gather requirements to really experience and then see what people have to say about the product you're trying to build, right? So while he was doing that, he noticed a couple of things. It could be traffic, it could be proximity to where they get orders delivered and all that, right? And then he set off to build a platform like to actually help people, like let's say order food, then deliver the food, right, on time. So I think their most unique value, should I say value proposition, unique selling points, should be that the fact that if you order for food in less than 30 minutes or in, let's say 45 minutes, you get your food, right? So basically, what happened was that a lot of research actually went into that. And then a lot of tools actually had to be built on the net to actually allow people order for food and get it delivered to them. Today, if you go to, I don't know whether you stay in Lagos, if if you go to some stores, somewhere like Amoke, Oge, or let's say The Place, you see a lot of bike guys around, right? And they're for Chowdeck, sometimes for Glovo, right? But the thing is that what happens is that once a customer actually orders food, on the platform, I don't know how it happens, but then maybe on their internal admin dashboard, they are being alerted, but the first person that gets the notification, maybe it's like a two-way handshake. The first person that gets the notification on their system could be the business, right? And then after the business got their notification, so that they will even start preparing the food that you ordered for, the driver also gets the notification. So the driver can actually accept that order, which actually now shows you as a customer, oh, my order has been accepted, right? Now what happens? The driver is on route to the place. Oh, give me food. Somebody ordered this. They give you the list. The other person in the business actually cross-checks and be like, oh, okay, this this is the customer ID or whatsoever. And then your food is being prepared. They will now tell you, oh, your food is on the way, right? That's all you need to see. At the end of the day, your food is being delivered. So they've solved the problem of just proximity. So in various areas, you have specific riders in those areas, right? And what that solves for is that, I mean, there's traffic in Lagos, and then you don't want someone from Ikorodu to go and pick food at the place in Yaba, right? And vice versa as well. So you solve the problem of proximity and then cutting time short for you to actually get your food, which was something that was identified during the research by this guy. Remember, he bought a bike by himself and started delivering food by himself and then tried as much as possible to document his findings, right? Imagine you just built a product and then, oh, I'm not doing any research. You just started giving out people stuff. You would not get this hidden insights to actually build out an amazing product. Today, what's the go-to tool to order food? Chowdeck. Why? They deliver on time. And then that their brown package, it's very lovely, right? So yeah, that's just about that. I think that's how I feel. That's how they actually went about all this stuff. But then I can't go deeper because I mean I don't know the tech they used in building it and every other thing. But then from a product point of view, I could probably guess, right? So I don't know, Winnie, I think maybe I've answered your question. You can give a thumbs up if I have. If I haven't, I can revisit it later. But thank you for asking, by the way. Awesome. All right. So Christopher, Christopher, let me just attend to this after I've probably talked about the areas and all that. But thank you for asking the question, by the way. So yeah, so what areas of no-code tech can I specialize on? Yeah, I actually have to box everything into one area, which is of course, product management, product design, also graphic and brand design, product marketing, quality assurance analyst, or some people call it software testing. There's also digital marketing or growth. Some people also like it's more like all encompassing sometimes. You have business development, you have data analysis, and then human resource management. So any of these areas, if you choose to specialize, there are various skills you can. So don't get me wrong, I didn't want to probably have a slide whereby I get to mention all this one after the other, but then you could just ask me questions for anyone you don't understand, or probably anyone that you want to know, probably the transferable skills or the things you need to be good at to probably just focus on those areas. Cool. So yeah, so that's just it. Let's take it one after the other and just explain what they do, the skills you need to succeed in these areas, right? So number one, which is product management. So product management for me, right? I like using myself as an example most times. So for me, I'm not technical, right? Irrespective of the fact that at some point in my career, I wrote code, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I can remember then whenever I'm going home, I'm thinking about debugging my code, but that's just about that. So For product management, what do they do, right? First of all, like they're in charge of ideation, iterations, execution, and management of the product. So in tech, any product you're using, for instance, let me show you guys this. Any product you're using, for instance, you're using a money point or an OP, right? Okay, I don't know. Let me show you. Let me hide my balance. Okay. All right. So something like this, right? This is a product. You don't call it any other thing. You don't call it software. This is a product. You call it a product. Product is more like position of all the features into one thing. It's called a product, right? So for you to manage all that, all these features, it was built by a product manager through directing probably the designers or the developers on how to go about it. But then you must have done your research. So basically anything with regards to maintaining a product, sometimes you get push notifications, right? Probably these are just those that have been done. It could be decided by a product manager or probably a product marketing manager, right? Just to actually push their marketing or all that. So, but product management is just basically anything that has to do with maintaining, building, executing, or directing product from beginning to the end, right? That's product management. I don't want to use the whole cliche that a lot of people use. Product is from the So it's just simple. Building a product, building it out from execution, iteration. I mean, from iteration to execution, right? So you can say, should I say, from when it's been initiated, right? That's the word, like when it started, when the product development process, which is like the research phase, from that time to when it's actually a full-fledged product, right? That's his product management. Managing that process, that's his product management. What are the skills you need? For you to be a product manager or focus on this area, or should I say non-code tech area, you need to be somebody that, of course, you need to have leadership skills. Have you led in a team before? Let's say, for instance, you've been a PA. I wouldn't say PA, but like you've worked in a restaurant and you are like the one managing other guys that work in the restaurant. Maybe you are in charge of other waiters or that. You can be a product manager, to be honest. It's more like a transferable skills. I think Precious on this call, who is actually a HR person, can agree with me that you can talk about these skills or probably these transferable skills when you are in an interview saying that, oh, I've been a leader in this, I was able to teach few things, and then that led to that's more like a transferable skill for me to lead in this role, right? So leadership is one. Another thing is you need to be a good communicator, right? I mean, like, I don't mean people that when you speak, what's the word? Should I say big English? Use that one, right? You have big vocabulary. You're telling somebody, instead of to tell somebody, oh, stifle the, I mean, stop making noise. You're telling the person stifle the noise, right? It's still the same thing, but did you communicate? No, right? Because the person does not understand the meaning of stifle. The person has to, first of all, probably look at the dictionary to even understand what stifle is, to actually know what you're talking about. So you need to be a very good communicator, not just that. And then I think our wave, for most people that pass through wave, right, in quotes, you need to understand that in communication, I think 90% or 80% there is nonverbal, right? I'm talking to you right now. A lot of you are looking at my face, my, like, the expressions I'm making on my face. You're trying to understand, oh, is this guy stressed? Is this guy talking with ease and all that? Like, these are communications, right? You could be with someone and then person tells you, oh, I'll do the job. But the tone actually says a lot about the person saying, oh, I'll do the job. Person might actually be suffering from something, or something might actually be going on with him that you're not aware of. So communication is not just you being able to talk, right? That is one. There's also written written communication, which has to do with documenting your findings with regards to research. There's also nonverbal, like how you navigate through various people. You could have probably sent a message on Slack to an engineer and then he does not reply you. Then when you call him, he replies you, or probably he prefers WhatsApp, or probably he wants to use Microsoft Teams. Like, people have their preferences. And how do you notice this? By not just by communicating, but then like reading in between the lines to really understand, what does this guy, what way does this guy prefer to communicate, right? And then you double down in those areas, right? So all these things are just more like in a box to communication. So the next thing being you need to be a little bit technical, but it's not really like compulsory, because for product managers, there are various aspects of product management. There's data product management, there's business product management, there's technical product management. I mean a lot of all that. So it depends on what you want to focus on. I think there's UX product management, something focused on UX. I think there's growth product management. So focused on growth, focused on data, focused on the business, focused on technicalities, working closely with engineers. So it depends on what you want to do, right? You could actually choose that. So any questions with regards to this? I hope not. Okay. All right, no questions. Let me just run. Okay, I don't have much time. So there, you guys have enough time to ask questions. So the next thing is product design, right? Okay, Precious Choma has a hand up. Hi, Choma.
Yeah, hi Anthony. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. I want you to like take us back. You mentioned something about ideation stage, because I'm taking notes, and I think I
Okay.
missed you at that point. You said something about ideation, iteration, integration. I'm not sure if I got that right. You can
Yeah.
repeat it again so I can.
Okay, so for product managers, right? It's more like you're in charge of the whole process, the whole product development process, which is more like the whole ideation, right? Ideating the product. More like that's the research phase, right? You talk about like the development phase, whereby at least you've gathered all the data and then you want to just build out the entire product, right? That has to also be like the implementation stage, where the designer has already designed the screens. You've now done your grooming calls and probably done your sprint planning, and then the execution phase is where the real work actually happens, which has to do with tracking, right? It's more like also implementation stage, but focused on execution basically. So executing the product, processes or whatever you're trying to do. Then the next thing being how do I put it? Like after execution, like you get to release the product, right? To the public to actually use. But before releasing the product, you must have tested the product, right? To maybe check irregularities, or to, let's say, to see anomalies, right? Whether, oh, this developer actually did this thing that you actually mentioned in acceptance criteria. And there's what we call user acceptance testing in product management. So what that means is that all the stakeholders, like the business guys and all that, they get to gather them probably in a meeting, or probably share a sheet with them, and they get to test the product and then document their findings, right? Something that they're not cool with, something that they feel like, oh, this is how our customers like doing it. Oh, I've always had a problem doing it this way. You put it there. So, but if it was not part of our scope, we're not implementing it. But the thing is that what that gives you is that everybody even knows how to use the product. Everybody has a sense of how the product will be perceived when you build it out and push it out there. Do you get? So from that ideation phase to implementation, execution, development, to do testing, to like release stage to the public, right? You're actually in charge of that. So it's more like a process, one to this, and then you would have to still come back based on data you've actually aggregated and gathered over time. More like driving insights from data as well. you get to also repeat this process by probably building a V 1.1 or a V 1.2, or probably a V2 entirely, right? So V in this case actually means version, right? So sometimes the way, what product would I use now? The way Facebook looks today is not the way it was looking 10 years ago, right? So there was a product manager that has done research and noticed that, oh, I want people to click on like and then it pops, right? And then you're like, oh my God. I'm very, very sure a lot of people on this call, when they noticed that, they were like, oh, more, these guys are doing magic, right? So this probably a V something, something, something. I don't know, right? So, but then the process does not even end when you release the product. You still have to come back, look at the data. What's the data saying? Why are people dropping off, right? What can we do to improve this? How do we increase these clicks, right? And that's it. There are various tools you can use and do this. So this aspect of product management is called product analysis. You can use various tools like Amplitude, Mixpanel. I think there's something used like Useberry. I just learned that one like yesterday. You can use Hotjar. There are a lot of tools you could actually use to actually track data and then build better products after you release the product. So it's not just the building part and then the release part. You also get to come back and iterate, right? So it's an all-round thinking. So yeah, that's just about that for product management.
Thank you.
Hello, can anyone hear me? I think something happened to Anthony's network.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think something happened to his network, so he's going to be back soon. And we lost. So let me tell him. Okay, so he just left the call. I think he's going to join back again because of his network. So I hope we are all enjoying the session. Let's give him a minute to join back. Okay, so let's give him a minute to join back. Hope you are all enjoying the masterclass so far. So what have we learned? Let's share our learnings. What have we learned so far from the masterclass? You can just drop it in the chat box while we are waiting for Anthony to get his network back. What have you learned? What have you learned concerning the no-code tech opportunities that you have in tech? Who would like to share? Let's just one person come up to share what they've learned so far while we are waiting for Anthony. Who would like to volunteer or be that brief person to come up and share?
Wow. MTN
Okay.
decided to be unfortunate.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to get them to share what they've learned so far, but it's fine. You can go on with the
Oh,
session.
okay. All right, that's
Yeah.
fine. But maybe, well, I think maybe I will just how do I put it? Like, I don't know where I stopped with regards to answering Precious's question. Maybe I'll just continue with that and then let's see. Precious, where did I stop? Sorry.
Hi, Anthony. So you just explained everything actually. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you are about to move on to the next.
Oh, okay. I was about to move on to the next. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. I think Idara, do you want to do that now? It's
It's
fine.
fine. I think you should go until then. We cannot have it at towards the end of the session. Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Perfect.
Yeah.
So for product design, right? So product design is more like, I mean, you guys can see everybody knows OP. I mean, is there anybody on this call that does not know OP? That would be very weird. Or probably a lot of people. How many people here use OP? Let me get a quorum. Like probably you can just indicate in the chat box. Okay. All right, Adedeji. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So OPay is very, very popular, of course. And what actually made them popular? Okay, awesome. A lot of people, I use OPay as well. So I started using it because one thing, like if you do a transfer, it has gone, right? And if you enter both or you're paying for something, once the person sees you're doing a transfer with OPay, they will not even ask you, did you do the transfer? Once it actually goes through, it went through. If you didn't go through, there will be a reversal, and then something else would probably, maybe something is wrong with their network. But even if you're sending to a particular bank, if there's no network in that bank, they'll also let you know. This is innovation, very innovative. So coming back to product design, right? What product design is, like I said, graphic, I won't really say much about graphic design and brand design. You could probably look that up, but then they're kind of similar, but not the same, right? Brand has to do with just designing the brand colors, identity, and all that. Graphic design has to do with, like, let's say if you're a social media manager, like the flyer for this event, right? A graphic designer can do that, right? So, or probably things about social media. Then product design is just this app you're just seeing, right? There's someone that actually worked with the product manager to actually design all this. So designing the feature, how to add money, your transaction history, the notifications, everything on OPay was done by a product designer. So all those processes, that's what product design means. So for instance, at some point in my career, I was learning product design. And one thing I know is that I couldn't continue because I was not good with colors, combining colors. So, which brings me to my the first thing you need to know how to do. You have to have a design mindset. If I'm to use that word, you need to be somebody that understands design, right? If you're somebody that can draw, you can be a product designer. If you're somebody that already knows how to do graphic design, use Photoshop, you can be a good product designer. But the thing is that you need to start looking at things like UX. So UX is user experience. So that's the psychological part of design, right? How people feel using your product, the best place to actually place a login button, all those things are UX, not UI. So first of all, you need to understand psychology of people. You need to know how to combine colors, how to design properly, even in other spheres, right? You have to have eye for color. That's just the main thing. So if you are very good in these two things, and then you need to be able to communicate properly with people, with regards to any of that. I think that's just that for product design. I'm trying to rush things a bit because where can we learn product design? Don't worry, I'll show you. Bro, you dey rush. Calm down. You understand? Just calm down. That's why I'm here. So yeah, so that's just about that. Then for product marketing is more like a lot of people get newsletters, right? You get newsletters about a product release or something, what people are trying to build. I think there's a circular that went out, I think OPay or MoneyPoint. If you use OPay or MoneyPoint, no, specifically MoneyPoint, about when they banned them from actually onboarding users. So there's a circular that went out, and then it's a product marketing person that fostered that information with probably working with the communications team, right? So product marketers are more like people that market the product in quotes, right? So there could be they're still in tech, right? There could still be like a marketing team which markets the business. So marketing the product is different from marketing the business, right? You should understand that they are separate entities. Do you get? So I'm very, very sure there's like, for a product marketer, you're not in charge of probably putting billboards, planning for that, talking to influencer marketer. It's not your job. You're like focused on the product part of things, just something that will make users to just click, not to probably be walking on the road and then see I don't think it's your area. So for product marketing, you need to be a good marketer first. You need to probably have experience in marketing. You need to be somebody that, you understand, let's say, what users actually want, right? how to penetrate into their minds and then make them want to use a product. You should be that kind of person, right? And then I think you should understand a little bit of management, a little bit of product management to actually be a good product marketing person. So it's an area you could actually go into. Then another one is quality assurance analysts or software testers. So this area is just focusing on testing the product. So if you can remember, I talked about ideation to execution, implementation, development, and testing before release. So the product tester or the software tester or quality assurance analyst, QA, that's what they call them, at that testing phase, right? They are the ones to validate what the developers have built. When I mean developers, I mean software engineers or what you guys call the programmers, right? They're the ones to say, oh, this met the acceptance criteria. So acceptance criteria is more like a set of rules of things that has to happen before you can say, oh, this product is good. Do you get? So that's just the thing. So they're the ones to actually certify that and say, oh, okay, this is good. We can now move to the next stage, right? So for you to succeed in this role, for you to do this, you need to be able to, you need to have a skill of trying as much as possible to see gray areas in things, right? You need to be very analytical, like think critically about a problem, right? And make sure that individuals actually follow through on what they are told to do. It's more like leadership, if I'm to use that word, somewhat leadership, right? But more like influencing people to do what they're meant to do. Because a couple of times some developers are very stubborn. Sorry to say that, but then they wouldn't want to actually build out what you like. Basically, it's not working. It's working on my system, but no, we are not the user, right? So there could actually be a way you could actually just talk to them and just, persuade them, if I'm to use that word. That's why also bringing me to the next point, being a good communicator is actually something you need to have to actually focus on this no-code area. Then the next thing is, I think I've said that. So the next thing is basically digital marketing, sometimes growth. So digital marketing, I think it has to do with the whole trying as much as possible to it's more like an aspect of marketing. Try as much as possible to put your business out there. So that maybe online, when people actually search for your product, you're the first to actually come out. I think it's interfacing a little bit with social media marketing and all that. So digital marketing, SEO, optimization, and all that, I think that's just that. What do you need to succeed in this? You need trainings, you need to get certified in some Google trainings. You need to understand marketing and how to build a brand, right? Brand development, it's something you need to understand. Then moving over to the next one, business development. Business development, of course, basically, just like the name actually portrays, business development. How do we build this business to actually be bigger than it is? How do we 10x? Like, how do we build it so that it could last for 10 years, right? What are the things we do? What are the kind of partnerships we need to foster, right? These are the things you should, these are the things that you should be thinking about, not just thinking about, but the things that they do, basically. For you to be able to succeed in this area, you need to understand business management itself. How do you manage a business? You need to also understand operations. Although operations is actually something I didn't include here, but operations is just part of the no-code areas in tech as well. So you need to understand operations to an extent. You need to understand how a business actually operates to succeed as a business development person. You need to understand analysis. You need to understand data at some point. You need to be a good communicator, of course, right? With all the best ethics you can find in the world, you need to be up to date with regards to that. You need to understand research, understand the markets you're dealing with, right? So a little bit of doing a lot of like market research thingy. Yeah, I think you need to be good at that. Then the next thing, data analysis. Data analysis, of course, just like the name says as well, analyzing data, right? Driving insights from data that you've gathered. It could also be like from aggregated data. It could be like from data that is just there and all that, right? Like that's just for that, basically. So for you to actually succeed in this, I think very simple, you need to be very good with presentation skills, very, very good communication, very good at that to communicate the insights you're trying to actually present to the stakeholders, because you do a lot of that. You need to actually train as well to get some certifications. I'll still come to that with regards to the training and development. So that's just about the data part. Then we get to the part where I think Idara and Precious actually are into. You have the human resource management part of things, where I think, true story, yeah. I think the first career part, the first thing I ever did in my career was related to human resource management. Maybe that's why I get I get a lot of jobs and people are struggling with it. I don't know, but it's not like bragging. But then for me, I think even when I was at Wave, and totally, I think I've interviewed more than 1,000 people, if I'm to use that word. And while doing this, I also did a lot of presentations on how people can succeed in getting a job, right? But then let me not divert from what I'm meant to actually give to the audience. So human resource management is just how to manage an employee, right? It could start from the sourcing part, the planning part, right? Where you plan, okay, what are the needs? What are the areas we need to fill in this company? What are the things we need to do? What is the skills gap, right? How do we develop people that are already here? Okay, we can't develop people. We don't have the money to develop people that are already here. How do we get the people? Talent acquisition. How do we get those people into this company, right? To come and build out with that particular skill set, to build codes, we need people to build out, right? So how do we do that, right? That's human resource management. And then when you enter, how do we develop people to actually get to a level whereby they could do things in such ways that the products, right, or the tech products would actually be better, right? Do we need trainings or all that, right? That's the work of the human resource managers. But then going back to what I was trying to say, right? I think I've interviewed more than 1,000 people, and also some trainings that I actually did in the past, right? I tell them how to get jobs, what to do, the kind of interviews and all that. And to be honest, it's still glued to my palms till today, because of the fact that I've done that for many, many years before even going into tech. So if I'm in an interview with you, I know what you want. So sometimes I usually tell people, just get me in, like, don't worry about what I'll say. Like, if I have an interview in the next 1 hour, there's a high possibility, depending on the complication of the product or the person I'm probably going to interview with, I might actually prepare for it, or I might not, most cases, right? So, but it has to do with the skill you've built over time. Being able to get into recruiters' heads and then make them give you the job, because I kind of feel like getting a job is a psychological exercise, right? Convince me you can actually deliver on this role, and I'll give you the job. It's that simple. Any other thing people are telling you about interviews is just different. A lot of people get jobs, but they're not the best qualified for the jobs. So it's actually a skill on its own to get to say the right things in an interview and get them, right? So this is just outside the whole human resource management thing. But then also, if you want to succeed as a human resource manager, you need to know a little bit of psychology, how to get the best out of people, a little bit of leadership, and you need to know a lot about communication, right? You need to be able to communicate properly. Also, you need a lot of presentation skills as well, because sometimes companies do town halls or wide company meetings, and it's the HR person that has to present and then make them know about a new policy that is in the company or whatnot, right? So you need to actually know how to speak. You need to actually possess emotional intelligence, very important. So EQ, you need to have a lot of emotional quotient, because you'll be working with a lot of people. You need to have interpersonal skills, because I mean, like a lot of people have various personalities and all that. You need to know how to get into their heads, or probably try as much as possible to find a way to work with them, no matter how they behave, right? So I think that's just it for no code areas. I think I've talked about all you need to succeed in these areas. And then again, if you have any questions at this point, hit me up. Cool. All right. Okay, no problem, bro. Any questions, guys? Okay, no questions. For Victor, I'm coming to the stage whereby I get to tell you about what's it called? How to learn product design. So I think I'm getting there. So since there's no questions, we get to the next side. So wait, hold on. Let me go back. So let me ask this question. What are the, you can either unmute and talk, or you could put it in the comment section. How do you think you can get no code opportunities? Like, again, no wrong answers, nothing. Just let me know in the chat section. Just, you can impute your, what? Is someone saying anything? Okay. All right, guys. If you have the answer, just let me know. Anyone? How can you get, okay, let me put it this way. How can you get opportunities? How can you get jobs? What do you think you need to do to get jobs? Correct? I think that's the most basic way to actually coin that. Okay, I think I have someone. Doing your research based on the skills you think you have. Okay, awesome. Makes sense. Love that. I think it's one of the ways, yeah. Okay, job fairs, they're not common in Nigeria. LinkedIn optimization, awesome. Build your portfolio. Correct. Nice. Keep it coming. I think this is very, very good. Job fairs, also, I think I can also call that career fairs or stuff. Okay. LinkedIn optimization. So optimizing your LinkedIn to actually look very, very juicy for HR people to actually get in. Okay. Build your portfolio. Okay, this is most important for product designers and others, but I don't think for product managers, because I never built a portfolio ever in my life to get a job. Okay, acquiring skills related to your job, awesome. Okay, training and development, that makes sense. Network, awesome. Upskill, awesome. Gigs, reaching out to organizations who require your skill, awesome. This is actually like, I like that, Bolaji. Amazing. Knowing about the company, awesome. Of course, you need to know about the company before you get to apply. Researching on the job online, link to on jobs online, link to your skills via networking. Okay, awesome. Networking with people, very, very important. You need to network. Okay, I can't hear. Joseph, can you check properly? Or maybe you can go out and come back and see whether you can. Okay, building a relationship with recruiters. This is actually a hack. So that whenever there's a job, they can always let you know. This is actually a hack that people don't know. Have a lot of recruiter friends. Very, very important. So I think everybody's right. Everybody's correct. Thank you so much for your inputs. So this actually gets to the next screen where we talk about how you get opportunities in no-code tech. So the first thing for me, right? It might not be the first thing for everybody, but then first of all, you need to train yourself in that particular area, right? Again, creating a good CV, awesome. So for me, I like using myself as an example because I will not tell you what I've not done. So number one, the first thing I did was I had to pay for a course for my savings to learn product management, right? So I had to train myself in that area, educate myself, get to YouTube, read a lot of stuff, right? And I got the skill, right? So the next thing I did after that was to show the work or the skills I've just acquired on LinkedIn, right? So I had to go to LinkedIn and say, oh, guys, I finished this training, blah, blah, blah. It was amazing, you know, all those stuff. And then if you're hiring a product manager, I'm available, and, you know, stuff like that, right? So after that, a lot of people viewed my profile, but nobody actually wanted to hire me, right? But then that's just one of the things. I knew that was going to happen. But then it's one of the ways you could actually get hired. A lot of people actually get hired by that. And then there are also some training you actually go to, right? They have hiring opportunities. They put you in their network of alumni. And then if you're very good in class, they'll refer you for a job. I think Wave actually does that. Then also they also put you in their job board. It could be that, right? Another thing is prep your CV, right? So a lot of people, I know Wave actually tells you how to prep your CV as well, but then also for yourself, try as much as possible to do research, the best standardized CV online, up to date in the 21st century, and update your CVs to that. Nobody wants to know where you live on your CV. Nobody wants to know how many you are in your family. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to see. I don't, maybe for some jobs, but I don't think anybody wants to see where you went to nursery school. Why would I want to see where you went to nursery school? Where you went, your primary school, even your secondary school. I know you wrote WAEC, no wahala, right? Or if you didn't write, okay, probably, let me see, if you stopped at secondary school or primary, you can put that. But like, if you went to a university, there's no need for other ones. Like, you can put your master's and then your university, it's fine. But then other ones, no need. So you need to structure your CV in such a way that it will be so amazing, right? That people will be like, oh, I want to hire you immediately. So there's this summary part where, for me, I do a lot of killing with regards to that. I sell myself what I've done in the past, right? So I do that a lot. So prep your CVs, because when you acquire a skill and you don't have a CV, how do you want to be hired? Just think about that. Then another thing, optimize your LinkedIn. I think Precious mentioned this. So optimize your LinkedIn to be very, very sexy to recruiters, if I'm to use that word. So you need to put in some things, some words, the document you've gotten, right? The certifications you've gotten, put it in, make it very attractive and make it awesome. For instance, how do you do this, right? Browse about people that are already doing what you do and copy everything they did. So I'm not advising you to do this like in total, like word for word, but oh, they put a hashtag here. Let me put a similar hashtag. Oh, they wrote, okay, product manager, blockchain, blah, blah, blah. Let me put the same thing. Oh, they did this. Let me do that, right? So it will look alike, but not the same. So if they already have 5 years or 4 years experience, you should do that. Look at that and do that. Just optimize your CV to be very sexy to recruiters. Another thing is referrals. So the first job I ever got in tech, official job I got in tech, was through
5 at once.
Okay. So the first official job I got in tech was through a referral. So I finished the training. I told a friend of mine that, oh, I'm done with the training. And it was like one day, like 2 or 3 days, he was like, yo, there's this opportunity. I just sent to you on WhatsApp and I applied. I got the job. Right? I wouldn't say it's referral, but then he saw an opportunity and then sent it to me. I applied and I got the job, and that's just it. So that's referrals could work. And then I've had opportunities whereby even till today, friends be like, oh, Anthony, there's this opportunity, maybe a consulting opportunity or probably a job opportunity. Anthony Alpha, can you do this? Blah, blah, blah. There's somebody that is looking for something like this, and be like, oh, okay, no, I'll just plug me in. Yeah. So, but people cannot refer you when you're not good at what you do. People cannot refer you if you don't open your mouth and tell them, I need job. So I don't know what they say. I think a closed mouth is closed opportunity. I can't remember what they say about that. So if you're in need of if you're in need of something, you should talk about, like, you should voice it out so that people know where they need to help you from. So if referrals will not happen, then the next thing is attend conferences, attend 10 conferences. Back then I used to attend a lot of conferences, even on the island. Sometimes I have money to go back home, sometimes I don't. So don't ask me how I came back to the mainland, but it's just one of those things, right? So attend conferences, you see people that inspire you. There could be an opportunity to network with someone that could actually link you up to a job, right? You just don't develop yourself and want tech skills. Okay, yeah, a closed mouth is a closed destiny, I think. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, so attend tech conferences and then network with people. You see people that probably spoke at the events, connect with them, collect their numbers, don't bombard them. Just probably on your status, you are showing where you're doing your job, doing stuff, and you're like, oh, because a lot of people don't get this. So people spoke in a conference. Of course, a lot of people bombard them to get, because this is an experience I've had. A lot of people would want to collect their numbers and all that, right? But if you start calling them every day, start chatting them every day, you'll not get the help you need. So what the best way you can do that, I think that's the best way ever, is that you'll be like, oh, please, can you advise me on this? Can you advise me on this? If they advise you and they tell you, whatever they tell you, go and do it and come back and say, I've done this, so look at what I noticed. So and probably on your status, on your WhatsApp status, or maybe LinkedIn, you always show what you've done over time. If there's a job opportunity for an internship position, who do you think they'll refer? You, of course, right? So I think that's how you can actually go about that and all that. Then another thing is career fairs, right? So I think someone also mentioned job fairs, which is kind of the same thing. It's not really a thing in Nigeria, but it's a thing abroad a lot. But then there are a few that TechPoint does and other people do, I think InterSwitch or so, right? So attend these events. There are booths whereby you just get interviews or they hire you and on the spot and all that. Attend this stuff, that could help. Then another thing is you could apply for jobs and be creative about it. So again, you need to take action. You saw an opportunity posted by the CEO of this company on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and you don't apply. Why? You want the job to locate you. It's not possible, right? You need to apply for these jobs. Hit the apply button, apply for that job. Then sometimes for me, when I was looking for a job, or even till date, right? If I see a job I really like, I can, if somebody posts it, a HR person or a CEO or something, I could go into their DMs on LinkedIn and be like, yo, I'm interested in this job. What are the requirements? Okay, they'll be like, send your CV or all that. But I mean, like these days as well, right? It's more like recruiters actually reaching out to me or than the other way around, right? So I reach out to them, tell them everything they need to know, send my CV. And sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work, but then you need to actually be creative about this. Then a quick story, there's a friend of mine. He got a job recently that pays him close to 2 million naira at the moment. He's a product designer. So what happened was that a CEO posted an opportunity on Twitter, and to be honest, everybody's looking for a job now, right? So he said that people should mention people and they should impute, they should not send him a DM. People should just mention people so that you reach out to them. So within less than a day, that tweet had more than 1,000 retweets. I think almost 1 million impressions or views. He now started begging people not to apply again or use the tweet again oh, he has gotten what he wanted. But this, my friend, was very creative about it. What he now did was that he went through somebody that was working with the guy, told him, oh, there's somebody that is interested in this. He said, okay, send me a mail to my direct mail to this. The guy sent the mail. Before he sent that mail, what he now did was that he already knew that he was competing with a lot of people. What he now did was that he did a UX audit. So what we call UX audit, a UX audit of the website. So UX audit is more like going to a website and then seeing loopholes and how it can be better. He designed like a lot of Figma frames and then sent to this guy a link. Today, the guy is hired. So he beat out the competition immediately. So, I mean, you can find creative ways to actually do this, but it's a lot of work, right? So that's just about that applying for jobs. Then the next thing being reach out to CEOs or recruiters on LinkedIn. I think I've already explained this. At this juncture, do you have any questions, guys? I think I'm coming to the end. Sorry, I'm trying to rush things at the moment. Oh, Victor again, where do we learn product? Oh, calm down, relax. Easy product, you learn and run, don't worry. So I think since there is no more questions, I think I'll just share resources, right? So for Victor and every other person asking, where do you learn the skills? These are the places I can mention for now. You can go to W3 schools, you can go to Coursera. They are free courses. So if you notice, from the way I listed all these things, right? They are paid courses, they are free ones, right? Anyone I said paid, right? You have to pay a token. I mean, you need to be able to bet on yourself, right? So if you are paying for a training, it's much more structured and you have all the guidance you need as long as you want, right? I took a bet on myself a few years back. Like the training I did, it costed like close to 200K, right? After I did design, that costed a lot more, right? But I wouldn't say how much I'm earning now, but I'm earning way than that in a month. Like I think I can't remember the last time I can't remember the last time I earned 250K. I can't remember the year again. So that's just by the way. So you can make that money back, but then you need to train yourself. You need to go through a training. If you want to learn data analysis, SQL or so, W3 Schools is a place to do that. Coursera is also a place to actually learn a no-code skill. There are loads of them that are free there. So I think you need to apply for something. I think you need to apply for grants or sponsorship. Udemy and Udacity, a lot of people know it here. So you can also do that in these platforms. Then Product Dive is for product guys. It's paid. Product School, it's free and paid. There's actually a training going on Product School. If you Google Product School today, there's a training going on there. It's free, but it will be free for like a few months. If you check it in December, it will no more be free. So if you want to actually get on with that, you should do it right now, right? Trade Forward, product marketing, product management, it's paid. Utiva, paid. Data analysis, all that. I think operations, everything, product management, design, paid. You want to do coding. I think there's a no code tech part. Correct me if I'm wrong, Precious. I think there's a no code tech part in Old School, so you need to go to the platform and check it out. Then also Student, you also get to pay for that. Go My Code, it's also paid. You also search for Google certified courses online. You could look at YouTube. You could also do LinkedIn Learning because there are a couple of things you can learn on LinkedIn. You can just post it on your profile and also talk about the experience. And some of these things are kind of free, right? So these are just basically the resources I have to share, right? So Victor, if you want to learn product design, you can choose any of this. So I think that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to questions. Okay.
Thank you very much, Anthony, for taking the session. So if you have any questions, if you have Abigail's hand up, if you have any question, you can just raise your hand like Abigail is currently raising her hand, or drop your question in the chat. And please, if you're not raise your mic, thank you very much. Yeah, so Abigail, the floor is yours. You can ask your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Anthony, I want to find out, would you advise someone that is 40 years old to further get into the
Is there an opportunity for the person to get any job after?
Okay. Thank you for that, Abigail. So just to understand, you said for somebody that is 40 years old, can they get into tech? Of course, yeah. So to be honest, right? I was I think anybody can join tech. Anybody can get into tech. You're 50 years old now. As you're looking at as you're here now, if you check your Google, right, you will see stories of people that are like 50 or 70. I wouldn't, maybe not that older, but you see people that are way older than you, right? That got into tech and they're making it big, right? And they had to even take the harder route, which is coding, software engineering and all that. So anybody, any age at all, can get into tech. I didn't get into tech when I was 20. I didn't get into tech when I was 18 or 19, but I mean, we're here, right? So anybody, don't get discouraged. Anybody can get into tech. You can get into tech. Any other person can get into tech at any age, right? The only thing it demands from you is just try as much as possible to be good at what you do. Simple. Like there's no age barrier. This is not banking work. So you need to be 25 years, or you need to be like within 25 or 20 now. So it's more like a solution-driven industry. Like you need to be very good at what you do. That's all they care about. Sometimes they don't even ask for a certificate, right? To be honest, I can't remember. Most of the jobs I've done, nobody asks me, what did you graduate with? Where did you graduate from? Let me see your certificate. Nobody has ever asked that, right? So, but then it's an industry focused on just what you can do rather than your age or what you graduated with. Yeah, so that's just it. Yeah, you can. The answer is yes, you can.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions, guys?
Yeah, so some people have dropped questions in the chat box. So I think I'll just read out
Okay.
the question. So
Okay.
Adedeji Samuels asks, can you teach us and give us an insight, give us a site idea to create our LinkedIn page in relation to the tech skills we have? Okay. So so I don't know. So before Anthony speaks, I would just like to speak. So we have done a LinkedIn page optimization workshop. We've done it twice, the basic and the advanced. So it's currently uploaded on Wave's YouTube page. So maybe you can just go back to watch the videos to see how well you can optimize your LinkedIn page to align with the tech skills that you have. So maybe Anthony can just add to what I have said.
So yes, to be honest, like I said, right, it's there is no formula to how you optimize your LinkedIn. For instance, like how do I put it? Adedeji Samuel. So what do you want to do, right? You first of all ask yourself, what no-code tech skill do I want to learn? Once you understand that, the next thing should be, who are the people already succeeding in this area? How do you know that? Go to LinkedIn, go to the search box, type that particular skill. If it's product manager, if it's product design, the top guys come up in that search bar. Click on their LinkedIn. Look at everything that they've done to their own LinkedIn. Go and do it. I didn't say you should lie. Don't lie about any skill. Just go and do the same thing. It's that simple, right? For you to be able to search for an individual and then see that they appeared in the topmost part in LinkedIn, there's something right they did. Go and do the same thing. It's that simple. I don't think you need a training or anything. That's how I started, right? So, like I said, there's no formula. Today, if I want to learn a new skill, I just go to people's LinkedIn that I know that are succeeding more than me, right? I go to the trainings that they have undergone every single year. I go and do those trainings. I don't need anybody to, there's no training, my brother, right? Or from the things I've actually mentioned, go to YouTube, type how to optimize my LinkedIn so that recruiters can see me and give me job. You see, you watch videos and get tired. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Anthony. So I think we will move on to the next question. Adedeji, hope this answers your question. Thank you very much, Anthony, for asking that question. So Joseph is asking, can I be a product designer with the knowledge of CorelDRAW and UI UX?
So, I mean, like, if you know UI UX, you're already a product designer. The difference is the name. If you're good in CorelDRAW, I think CorelDRAW is good with logos and probably illustrations. So that's even more money for you, right? So if you look at Childek's websites or their app today, a lot of things they are illustrated and they're also embedded with the knowledge of product design. So that's more money. In fact, if you know CorelDRAW very well, and already you know UX, UI UX, so that's like product design. So if you combine the two, if they're paying a designer 500K, they're going to be paying 700K because you're bringing two skills on the table. So yes, of course, it can help. I think next question. Okay, so for someone who only undergo 4 months training into tech by learning UI UX, how can he or she get job with the frame time of learning? Because most organizations require. I don't really understand the question, but then I'll answer it as much as I can. So what I see is that with regards to this, some people are lucky they get jobs when they're training, 4 months or so, right? But again, you have to apply. If you're doing a training, talk about your training on LinkedIn, on Twitter, anywhere you can. But I advise people on LinkedIn. There are a lot of CEOs looking for who to hire every time. There are a lot of recruiters. In fact, I think recruiters have a target of people they need to recruit, right? I think they have a target. They have jobs to fill in. The problem is that people don't have enough skills to fill in for those roles, right? I think I did a sourcing training to understand this. So, and they're looking for specific people. So make their job easier. Post on LinkedIn. If you're doing a training, 2 months into the training, oh guys, I've been doing this, look at what I did, blah, blah, blah. Can get you a job, right? But you said because most organizations require years of experience. So I'll tell you there's nothing you can do if you don't have the required years of experience. You just have to pray, right? You get in. I don't know, maybe you're Muslim or Christian, I don't know, but then like pray to, there's a lot of spiritual connection to even you getting a job, if I'm to use that word, right? I apply for jobs and pray, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work, right? So, but then what I can tell you is that for that, you don't have any control over that. What I would advise you, if you don't have much years of experience, is that if you have somebody that is a developer or somebody that is building something, just tell the person, oh, let me work under you. Let me intern in this role. Don't pay me money, which is actually a hard thing. So getting into tech is hard. A lot of people don't tell you this, right? Whether you have a job or you don't have a job, whether you have the experience or not, it is hard to get that tech job. Very hard because you are competing with a lot of people. So an easy way is just to intern with the person and then don't get paid, or probably they can start giving you money for data and all that. That's how you could actually get there. And then after some time, you get to a level whereby they will pay you well. So I think that's just, I mean, you get to a level whereby you probably meet up with those experience that you need to succeed in that role. Then the next thing is Samuel Olani is what tech skills would you advise someone in production logistics, material handler to learn? Yeah, I think Precious already answered that. Product management is cool. Logistics, yeah, product management is cool. Operations, you can get into that. I mean, you know, a couple of processes with regards to how things are actually moving around. It could be in the logistics sector or anything, but product management is top. Marketing also cool, right? You could look at any of these areas and then just double down, right? But I think a lot of people don't understand. You need to do the work, right? You have to do the work. So, for instance, mine is to present to you guys and tell you, okay, these are the examples, these are the things I did, right? But I'll not be the one to, a lot of you use, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, I don't know what a lot of people do with their phones or probably their laptops or those that have, right? It is these tools I use and find these jobs because those are the same tools I use in finding mine. I don't know what you do with your data, right? I use my data to find job. So it is still you that will find that job. It is not me or Wave. If you get what I'm saying, right? You have to do something or else you'll not get that job. So we've given you like a blueprint. We've done the presentation. We've told you the areas you can focus on. It's now left for you. Do you want to get into tech or not? You make the choice, right? So you make that choice, right? You'll be the one to actually make that choice to, oh, okay, fine. Let me okay, let me just get the job and every other thing. So that's just basically it. You have to still apply for those jobs to get those jobs. If you don't apply, unless probably you have amazing friends that can literally give you those jobs on a platter. If you don't, you have to hustle for it. I think that's the word. I don't know either. I think I've exhausted my time. I don't know if there's any other thing.
Yeah, so somebody is asking in the chat box if he can Patrick is asking if he can get the recording of this master class, and the answer is yes, that you can. For everyone who still wants to have the recording of this master class, you can get the recording. But in order for you to get the recording, you have to fill our feedback form so that we can have the information we need to be able to send the recording to you. So I just sent in the feedback link here so that everybody can be able to fill in. So thank you very much, Anthony, for coming on this masterclass and sharing your knowledge with us. I'm very sure that it was insightful. So every single person that wants the recording, please fill feedback form. So before we let Anthony go, this session was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. We have a way of saying thank you at Wave, whereby we come in and we share with Anthony what we have learned or what stood out to us in his session. So we just need 2 people to come off mute and share their highlights or one key thing that they've learned in this session. You're basically telling him thank you, that you learned a lot and you've grabbed something to go home with today. Let's not, so that he doesn't feel like he just came and just wasted his time with us, at least 2 hours of his time. So who would like to come off mute and share their learnings on what Anthony has spoken about? Okay, so who? You can just indicate by raising your hand. Rosalina, are you saying anything?
No.
Okay, let's not disappoint Anthony. What stood out to you in his session? A lot of you were asking questions and you still can't, and you don't want to share what you want, the key thing that stood out to you in his session. We have a lot of people. We have at least 38 people on this call. Okay, Abigail, you can go. Thank you for coming on.
Okay, I learned a lot, but what stood out for me was saying giving us how to actually get these opportunities when he mentioned where we can go, the importance of getting training, um, how to getting jobs from LinkedIn and other areas of being creative and getting opportunities. And I also appreciated him giving us resources where we can actually get this training paid or free. So it was really practical. And then the last point you mentioned while concluding, saying what he doesn't understand what most of us do with our data and our phones, and that's actually true. I tried learning digital marketing. I think at some point something happened along the line. I think something happened in my home along the line, so I got distracted, and for some weeks I didn't go back, and I realized I was wasting my data on other things. So this training is actually a way of me coming back to what I should be doing to get that course finished and see what I can actually do with it. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Okay. Thank you so much, Abigail, for sharing what stood out to you. I think it's a testament to Anthony's knowledge in the tech world. And he shows that he actually poured his knowledge on us, because even me too, I learned a lot. I'll read out someone in the chat box, Faith, then we can now call it a day. And Faith is saying one of the key things that stood out to her was the skills that normally we have but don't know, the importance of getting trainings and marketing ourselves to stand out for recruiters. Yeah, there was something awesome. There was something that Anthony said that he said a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So we should always put ourselves out there. We should look for creative ways in getting our CVs, or our CVs to stand out to recruiters, especially when you give an example of somebody going to the website and doing like a product design, is it survey or something like that. That was actually pretty awesome. Not a lot of people, in fact, most people won't think about that idea, and that already sold him, even without the recruiter going to his CV. So that was something that stood out to me in this session. So yeah, thank you everyone. So I hope that you have filled our feedback form. Let's ensure to give Anthony a feedback or even a shout out in our feedback to show that really enjoyed our session. Also, people that are filling the feedback, Wave is also going to be giving you free airtime for staying through to the session. So just ensure that you fill our feedback form as a way of also telling you thank you for coming on this workshop on a Saturday. So thank you so much, Anthony. Really appreciate you. So let's tell Anthony bye by clapping our hands and just giving him a standing ovation for this awesome workshop. Let's clap. I'm clapping physically, so you can just drop your clapping emoji or thank you, Anthony. We appreciate you. Let him see your comments so that he feels appreciated, that he did an awesome job, an excellent job, an insightful job today. Thank you so much, Anthony. We hope to see you again. You can connect with him on LinkedIn. His name is Anthony Aga on LinkedIn. You can connect with him if you want to still talk more with him on LinkedIn. Yeah, he's our Oga, so let's clap for him. Thank you so much, Anthony. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Dara. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, see you guys. Just keep building, keep doing what you do. Don't give up. I know the country is hard, but yeah, we'll all be fine. Right. So, all right, guys. Okay.
Bye. Okay. So before we go, I would like to make an announcement. We are hosting an alumni pulse check. This is for Wave alumni. We are hosting an alumni pulse check next week, Thursday. Let's come, let's connect, let's reflect, let's recharge. It's for all alumni of Wave. It's a place where we can come, talk about, we can have thought-provoking conversations, share our challenges, advice. It's basically like a very informal event where you come and connect with other people in your in your line of career, and just share your challenges, and also you guys, connecting and finding solutions. The alumni executive are going to be the one hosting the event, so it promises to be very very fun. There's also going to be gifts for winners. There's going to be virtual games, and we're definitely going to have winners. People are going to be winning movie tickets, winning ShopRite or Spar vouchers. So make yourselves available for Thursday, 20th June next week, by 7 to 9 p.m. So see you guys soon, and hope we all filled our feedback form. So while everyone is trying to log out of the meeting, I think I'll just share the feedback form one more time so that we all fill our feedback form so that we can get the free airtime from Wave. And don't forget, for people that, if you want the recording of this video, thank you very much. So let me just play my music, and see you. Precious, you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so can there be a reminder, kind of, maybe to our email
For this
addresses?
subject?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be a reminder, definitely. Where did you see this workshop invitation from? Did you
Okay.
register?
Anthony is actually my candidate, so I saw it on his yes, I saw it on his WhatsApp status, and I said, okay, let me just join.
Okay. So just fill the feedback form. We'll definitely reach out to you.
Yeah,
Since
done
we
that
have
already.
an email, we'll definitely reach out to you. So thank you everyone. I think I'll stop sharing so that I can play music. Then we call it and end the meeting and call it a day.
With Global, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it. Because that tasty grilled chicken is here, and that key ingredient just in time. Order Global, and we'll deliver in minutes.
Solo. You know I've been riding solo. Before my Tori get promo. Now they call me a dollar. May nobody call me a dollar. Get no I dollar if he perfect. When I do wear my dollar. When I do wear my dollar. When I know get sick up. See I need you for my cup. So many things you done. So many things you done. I don't need fight since when I never thought you chance you be stubborn. Me I know the year what you are stubborn. I'm stubborn, gun. Me I know people you I don't know. Me I know the year what you are stubborn. Me I know people you I don't know. Don't know. Make I carry them, go where them don't know. Make I give them this step like Bobo. Originality no be Bobo. I'm a yummy, oh, ni go. I fight all the wars on the lolo. We go see me the solo. It be like say yeah, I don't go low. Jagos in a lie, in a ego. Ele da me my just long. Bukata me oti pogon. For my family I be stubborn. I'm a bomb. Enter their body like two bones. I want the good on. Yeah. Me I know the year what you are. Me I know people you I don't know. Me I know the year what you are. Me I know people you I don't know. That money is a bomb. I'm only share at your boss if not hustler. Get to the money pronto. Yeah, they call me DK like Tanto. Call me Gallery to Ikondo. I've never been missing in action. They start today calling me Uche Jumbo. When I get away my dollar. When I get away my dollar. When I don't get the couple. When I bunny key for my couple. Don't need so many things you don't know. So many things you don't know. Me and only 5 since when I never thought it. Just to you Lisa Bamba. Hey, stop man. Me and no be here what do I stop man. Stop man. Me and no be I don't know. Stop man. Me and no be here what do I stop man. Me and no be I don't know. Stop man.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time. Bye, everyone. Take care.